this demonstration is going to be of the circular attachment. Now the particular circular attachment that I'll be using is the one that is sold by FOF. The other machine manufacturers have a similar circular attachment or circular tool. As a matter of fact, I think that it's probably likely that the FOF one would work on most any machine. In the box comes the 3 templates, a explanation, and a CD that is actually quite good and can be used to understand some of what the tool is going to be doing. I believe the CD does not have any voice to it, so it's just a matter of really watching the pictures. I'll provide the voice in this demonstration. Okay, so these templates can be used to, for example, this one just simply helps you to determine the size of circle that you might want for a project. And these enable you to make a 4-leaf flower or a 6-leaf flower. Now, I have this block that I have done for an earlier project, and the background stitching, you see I have 3 circles and perfectly designed circles. I have the 6-leaf flower behind as background to the block. And in the corners of this block, what I did was to take a piece of contracting fabric. I sewed, it was just a square, and then I sewed 4 different sizes of circles onto the block by using the different size diameter settings on the circular tool. This was the foot I used to put down. This white trim was just a trim foot. I used this couching braiding foot to sew down the braiding. As a matter of fact, you can use any foot that we have demonstrated. So long as the foot feeds, it's not a free motion foot, you can use any of your feet with this circular tool attachment. Now, this cording foot, this cording braiding foot, you just load it by putting the cording through this loop on the front and then down through this hole, and you pull it to the back. You can see that in the center of the foot you have enough space for your needle to swing right and left and stitch over the cording. Just select any kind of decorative stitch that your machine might have and adjust it to where it's just wide enough to cover that cording. The foot works by having a notch on the back so that the foot can smoothly move over the cording as it moves forward. Okay, we've also demonstrated previously this 3-hole cording foot. Remember that you just take the yarn, that's what I'm going to use here, and just feed the yarn through this loop. Well, maybe feed the yarn through this loop and then pull it to the back of the foot. I'll do that for all 3 strands of this, and I'll have a sample of this actually available at the meeting to show you. And let's see, here's one more piece, and it's real simple to do because it's got this little feeder, and you'll have your yarn feeding through the foot. Again, you've got a wide slot in the foot, so your needle can swing right or left, and you'll just choose a decorative stitch just wide enough to cover your yarn. And again, it works by having the bottom of the foot slotted out. See, slotted out so that the foot can contact the feed dogs but still move smoothly over the yarn as the yarn's stitched down. It'll stitch like this. And then one other foot that I thought you might be interested in is a Candlewick foot. And the Candlewick foot would make some beautiful stitches for use with the circular tool. The Candlewick foot has got a wide hole in the front so that you can see your stitch as it's being formed, and very importantly, it notches so that as you make a nice lofty Candlewick stitch, the foot can move smoothly over it. What we've discovered is that if you try to use just a regular foot to make Candlewick stitches, if you make a stitch that has a very high loft to it, the foot simply will not feed over those stitches very smoothly, and so this Candlewick foot would do that for you. Okay, so again, any of the feet that we have demonstrated would work beautifully with this circular tool. And just what I did here was I used a twin needle and just a simple decorative stitch. So twin needles work beautifully with this too. Okay, so, and here's another sample that I made that's just a bunch of circles on a background block. This was made with twin needles and a double stitch. Alright, so how does this circular attachment work? Well, first of all, it's got these two notches that come down here, and as we'll see in a minute, they snap right into the holes in the stitch plate cover of your machine. This size guide moves up and down, and you have the size of the circles, the diameter of the circles in both centimeters and inches. And you will move the size guide until you reach the size of the circle you want. For example, if you wanted a 9-inch circle, you would stop it here. And then where you want the center of your circle to be, you're going to line that up with this hole in the size guide, and then push this pin into then your fabric will move freely around that push pin. For example, here, if this was the center of my circle, and then you see this will, as the feed dogs move the fabric and as the feed dogs contact your foot, then it will move the fabric freely in a circle. Now, I've found that it's better if you have your machine on a flat surface. If you have an extension table that you can connect to your machine, it'll keep the fabric nice and flat. Okay, I think that we'll go ahead and we'll demonstrate how to use the guide, and then come back and I'll explain to you how I make it. Okay, so now I'm at the machine and I'm going to attach the circular attachment to my machine. Again, the two prongs fit into the two holes in the stitch plate cover, and so we're just going to pop them into the holes. And then what I'm going to show you is that four petal flower. And what I've done here is I've used the template to mark the A's and B's. Hang on just a minute and I'll get that template. Okay. This particular template has I guess an A's on each petal, and you choose the size of the flower you want by selecting whichever hole corresponds to the size. I chose a 20 centimeter, and then I line this template up on my block, and I put a dot on the circle here, and the circle here, and the 20 here, and the 20 here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, and I've written A and on the, I guess it's just A's and then the dots on here, just to be able to demonstrate to you, or just so that you could see them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pen and I want to put it into this dot, and I'm going to, and I've chosen the 20 centimeter diameter on my size guide. Okay, and I'm going to just stitch from this A to this A. Okay, and I've got 3 millimeter twin needles in my machine, and I've chosen a fairly simple, it's kind of a zigzag stitch that works well with the twin needles. Okay, so I started approximately where I have that A mark, and you can see how the machine moves the fabric. It's literally hands-free. I'm going to tack that down. Okay, I'll cut my threads, and then I'll choose another spot like this one, put that in my size guide, and I'll stitch again from A to A. This time I'll start with this one. And then I'll just work my way around by moving the pen from one to the next and continue to. Okay, so I've finished the 4 petals of the flower, and now I'm going to just make a circle around the petals. Maybe I'll make a couple of circles eventually, but to do that I'll just take my push pin and insert it right in the center of the flower, and then put that pin into the size guide, and I can move it around, make that circle whatever size I want. And I think for the demonstration purposes, I'll make it about this size. and your ends will match up just perfectly, and then just snap your threads. Now on this piece here, what I use this 6-petal template, and you notice this template, you have A, B, A, B. Again, you mark the dot into the dot or the hole, depending on the size you want. So what I did here was I decided that I would go ahead with a 26 centimeter petal, and so you can see where I marked the dots and then transferred A and B. So, and then I flipped it over and I did the same thing to the other side. And then this is just a matter of putting the push pin in the A's and sewing from B to B all the way around. So this A and this A and this A, and then putting the pins in each of the B's and sewing from A to A. And then to top it off, I just put a circle around the outer perimeter. So that's the circular tool.